My message this morning is entitled, Been There, Done That, Lurks in the Shadows. And what that means to me is there is something within us that, that isn't part of our true self. But it's that self-saboteur that will take us off course. If we're slightly going that way, it's going to help us get there. And it's that been there, done that kind of thing, that inner cynic that is saying, I don't think this is going to work, instead of saying, of course this is working, which is the principle. The principle is it's always working. The inner cynic says, prove it to me, and I doubt it's going to happen. Anyway, I did a little research last night because I was wondering where this came from. It seems to have been around, and first of all, it said, well, it was an American expression. And then the one researcher said he found it first in 1982 in an interview with an Australian woman who said, as we say down under, been there, done that. And then it's just grown to been there, done that, got the T-shirt, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, wore it, cut it up, and used it as a dust rag. I mean, it's gone on and on. And for us, it is not meaning that we want to imprint in our mind, because that attitude of it's old news isn't befitting of spiritual beings. It isn't befitting of us, because who we are is we are every moment made new. Every moment we are brand new beings. We cannot step in the same river twice, because the river is different and we're different, because we're growing. So from this moment on, watch your language. See if you are tempted to go to that place of, I'm not doing that again. You can't anyway. You cannot do it again because there's not the same you. Anyway, it means in the vernacular boredom. Boredom and complacency. Been there, done that. And so I found a little clip on, it's an anti-boredom clip. So let's take a look at what this is. An anti-boredom campaign. I'm pretty sure it was all staged. I'm pretty sure it was not real. I see the looks. Anyway, it could go away now. Thank you, Bruce. I love it. So I just wanted to find, there's, here it is. No, here it isn't. Okay. Oh. Someone said, Dorothy Parker said this, the cure for boredom is curiosity. The cure for boredom is curiosity. And when we look at this, we look at our own lives. Look at your own life and see, what is it that you're explaining or justifying or blaming that instead of that you could simply be curious about? And being curious, you could learn something about you, something about what it is you believe, something about what it is you're thinking or believing. I have a great story to tell on myself this week, and it has a happy ending thanks to one of you. Last week, when I was out walking, a week before last, I should say, when I was out walking, I met a young woman with her great big boxer dog named Zeus. And she was telling me that she had just seen a big coyote, bigger than Zeus, on our street, on where I live, on our street. It's very, it's all houses. So I was a little concerned. She said, so anyone who has small dogs should leave them in. And I have a cat. Well, she never goes out. She is always in unless I am out with her, because she doesn't have front claws. She's getting older. She's a little vulnerable. She can't hear so well. And she's a little slow of foot because she's a little wide of girth. But anyway, so I left on Wednesday morning, I think it was, Wednesday morning, and I absolutely knew that my cat was in. In fact, I remember telling her she had to stay in, that I was going now, which we have these little conversations. She's part Siamese and part Lynx, so she talks all the time. I mean, she's always, anyone have a part Siamese? They talk all the time. I mean, there's no stopping this conversation. I could be quiet. The only time she is quiet is when we're meditating. But anyway, so I get home. It must have been, it was Tuesday. I got home Tuesday night, really late, because we've been working on my computer. Another story. We've been working on my computer until 11 o'clock. I left here at 11. I got home at 11:30, and immediately I saw, this cat dish still has food in it. That doesn't make sense. She's been without food all day. I knew she wasn't in the house. But I called for her anyway, and then I got outside, called. There's complete silence, which those of you who know when you have a pet, you know when they're just being quiet. But she wasn't there. So the next morning, Diane made these beautiful posters for me, and I took them to the shelter. But before I did that, I called our former animal kinship ministry head, Rose Tingle, because she would know what do I do? The cat has a chip, but it probably has the wrong phone number. Who do I call? And et cetera. And so Rose was telling me all the things that I ought to do, including give the flyers to my community, put them up in my community. So I went home and did that and was giving out flyers. Well, no one was home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Lots of people are working. So I decided to come back around dinner time and see if anyone had spotted her. And I was back for only a little while. Rose called. She said, I just had an intuition that I should come and look for your cat. Would you mind? Would I mind? Not at all. So over she came, and she said it flashed to her. This is intuition. It flashed to her that she'd be in someone's backyard. So it's hard to do, but she managed to walk along the little gutter that's above my property, and sure enough, there was my cat in someone else's yard. And when Rose called her name, she actually talked to her, so she knew it was the cat. And so within 20 minutes of saying, sure, go ahead, I'm on my way back to Wednesday Wisdom, the cat was found. So thank you to Rose. But see, there's something else here. Our speaker on Thursday night told us in the movie that 3 billion bits of information are bombarding us every single day. 3 billion. 3 billion bits of information in this swirl of energy that we all interpret the way we interpret it. So I see you all beautiful. I see this, I see what I see. You see what you see. And even if you're up here, you wouldn't see the same thing that I see, because we're seeing it through our own perceptions. What he said is most of us capture 2,000 of that 3 billion. And what's more, we have the same 2,000 thoughts every single day, because we see the world through the perceptions that we have about life. In other words, I'm expecting to see my story, so I see my story. And my last cat that I had was attacked by a coyote, and so I really was going down that road. My practitioner for animals, Kathy Story, said, don't even go there. Don't even go there. She's fine. So sometimes you need people around you who have a different story about life, to remind you of a different possibility, to remind you that, see, I was going down, been there, done that. I was going there. Unconsciously, I was attempting to block it, but I wasn't blocking it. I was going there. But somebody else, a couple of somebody else, knew the truth for me. And so, when Rose said, I've got her, it was the happiest moment. I was just thrilled because there she was. And she stuck like glue to me when, from that moment, she was like, she wasn't going anywhere that I wasn't. So I think we both learned a lot from that experience, and it will not happen again. So in your life, everything you do is a creative process. Everything you think is creating something. And both our speaker on Thursday and the book From Good to Great says this. It doesn't work to try to fix a problem. If we see life as a problem that needs to be fixed, we'll just create bigger problems around that place where it needs to be fixed. And if we fix that one, another one will come in. Think about this for a moment. How are you seeing your life? Are you seeing it as there's something in your life that isn't working and you need to fix it? If you are, stop. Just stop right now. Just stop. And instead, ask yourself, what is working? What is working? In my example, what was working was other people could see a different truth for me. What is working? And then put your attention on that thing, because that thing will surely grow more things like it. Will grow more good. Will grow more beauty. Will grow more prosperity. So for those of us, people are going through stuff here. We're going through transition of a real possibility with a move. We're promised papers to sign tomorrow, so we'll see if that actually happens or not. And then from that, then there's still due diligence to do. Still not a done deal. We have people from our community that are starting a new life long ways away, and so we're supporting them. Reverend Lynn is leaving for Syracuse, New York, where she's going to start her daughter church there. So we're now the mother church, giving birth to not just ministers, but to other churches, and I really love that. That's wonderful. There are people that are grieving. There are people because of other kinds of losses. Where there are people that have just been diagnosed with something. There are people that have lost a change in relationship that's causing pain. What I'm asking you to do is, I'm not denying any of that. I'm just saying, in the middle of all that, can you find one thing good? One thing that's working? One moment of happiness, one moment of joy, one moment of abundance or creativity, and put your attention on that thing. And surely it will grow. Surely it will grow. That is the principle. So in order for us to stay away from that been there, done that lurks in the shadows, we need to bring curiosity. What in me, not is wrong, but what in me is receiving good from this? Where in me? What am I finding good in this? What am I finding good in this? I also got this for you. A gossip is someone who talks to you about others. A bore is someone who talks to you about himself. And a brilliant conversationalist is someone who talks to you about yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, and it is right. Okay, so here's the thing about anything lurking in the shadows of consciousness. Everything's there with our permission. So if I've got an inner cynic, guess who it came by way of? Me. Didn't come by way of any of you. It came by me. It didn't come from the girl that was walking her dog. It came from me. If I've got an inner optimist, it comes the same way. It comes by way of me. Same for you. That inner presence is from you. So be curious. And the other thing is bring a beginner's mind to everything you're doing, to everything you're looking at. If I hadn't seen this before, what could I see as if for the very first time? If I hadn't done this before, what could I do as if for the very first time? Reverend Lynn was speaking on Wednesday night, and she was talking about one of her qualities is determination. And that truly is a quality that each one of us could benefit from having. When we're determined to experience our good, we keep doing the work until it arrives. I was doing a little counseling work with someone recently, and this person was feeling like he wasn't getting demonstrations or results from prayer. Anyone been there, done that? Sorry. And then with a little exploring, I realized that it wasn't even prayer for himself. I thought, well, how then? Because the demonstration could already be made. It could already be made. When you're praying for someone else, even with their permission, in this case, the person had asked for prayer, because you are not living inside that person's mind, you don't know if there has been a shift in consciousness. You can see that there hasn't been a change in whatever behavior it was or result. But first of all, it's all an inner job. Everything happens first here. Then it happens on the outer. So it seems to me that the third thing then is to look at what it is you believe about life itself. What do you believe life is? You know, we've been talking all month about this creative mind that we live in, and that's Ernest Holmes, the book that we're doing, the daily readings, 365, Science of Mind. And a Christian mystic that we heard at a ministers' gathering a few years ago, Matthew Fox, has a book on creativity, and it's the very same principle. It's where we meet. It's where it seems to me that where the mystical aspects of all religion is where science of mind meets them. And because this is all about where the divine and human meet, where we allow God in. Rachel's beautiful song about inviting this essence, the God within, to carve our life, to paint it as a masterpiece, to make it worthy of an expression of God. So put your hand on your heart for a second. I am God's masterpiece now. Just the way that I am. It's enough. It's more than enough. It's great. And so it is. Okay. See, it's responding to you right now. That creative mind is responding to you. I love this quote. This is a George Bernard Shaw quote, and it's longer than this. I'm going to just quote a little bit of it. He was talking about the purpose of life, really living life full out, living life so that life has meaning for you or for him. And he says this, life is no brief candle for me. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got a hold of for a moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Isn't that beautiful? It's sort of which I've got a hold of for a moment, and those of us, as every year it seems it goes faster and faster, and it seems my life is just a moment, or just series of moments, and not this, what I thought when I was 20, these endless vista of tomorrows. Now it's like a moment, and I want to make it shine brightly, as brightly as possible, before handing it on to future generations. What a great idea. What a great idea. So, if we really know that our creativity is always here, it's guaranteed, it's working through all of us right now, it's our spiritual DNA. And each one of us is unique. If we come to every aspect of our life asking the question, what is really true about this? Being curious. What else do I need to know here? How else could I look at this? Is there another way to see it? Being curious. And then bringing determination to listen to the desires of your heart and bring them into being. You have simply awakened that bright torch. The cynic is you have no longer given her permission to be there, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I know I just want to introduce, we have a plethora of guests this morning that are